Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's Mike here at Game From Scratch, and today we have another bundle of interest to game developers. Now this is another bundle over on Fanatical. Basically it boils down to Fanatical has some of the best deals out there, and this one is part of Bundle Fest. Now Bundle Fest is just basically a collection of bundles or special rewards and things you get when you deal with them. We actually already covered a Bundle Fest bundle earlier on. It was the Game Creators Bundle. I did a video about that one if you want to go ahead and check that out. It gives you the ability to buy all of the Game Creators game engines, App Game Kit Studio, and Game Guru for like $15. Well, today we're looking at a graphics bundle instead. It is this one right here, the Game Graphics Designer Bundle. This contains over 2,000 assets. This is all entirely basically vector graphics. The way it works is organized into tiers. You buy the $1 tier, you get 5 products in it. Then at the it's probably $12 tier, you're getting 20 products, and then you're getting 40 products at the top tier, which I think was $15. So it looks like the Canadian exchange rate is really terrible right now. So you're seeing it's a collection of vector graphics based graphics. You see here a lot of it is characters, some of it is icons, and so on. You get everything in Adobe Illustrator, PNG, and PostScript formats. Again, if you buy the highest dollar value tier, so the tier 3, for example, you're getting everything. So you get everything here in tier 2 and everything in tier 1, etc. Now, the nice thing is Fanatical were nice enough to provide me with a copy of this bundle. So let's go take a look at what you get. So here is the store page, and you see here you get everything organized by the tiers you purchase. So if you buy the $1 tier, you get these 5 assets. If you bought this $12 or $10 tier, you get all of these as well. And then finally, if you bought all of the above, you get, well, all of the above. And you're getting a collection of assets here in very vector graphics format. So let's go ahead and check one of them out. So let's say we'll do this top-down tanks and artilleries, I think. Yeah, we'll do that one. All right, so you want to grab it, come in here, you basically click and download. It is a zip file. Let that come on down. So here you can see the zip file. They are all from the same person. At least I've downloaded 5 or 6 of them. They are all from this fellow. The important thing, of course, is what license are these released under. As you can see, the license is very short, sweet, and simple. More or less what it is saying here. And again, I am not a lawyer, so do not take this as legal advice. But my reading is you can use these in commercial and non-commercial products. The only real caveat here, and this is pretty standard, you cannot sell, share, transfer, give away, sub-license, or redistribute the licensed assets or derivative work as part as a part of a relevant media product, or allow the user to extract the licensed assets, derivative work, and use them outside of media product. What that's basically saying is you need to use them in, say, a game. You couldn't publish these up to the Unity Asset Store as your own. Though also what to be aware of, this part right here will make it impossible to share these assets as part of an open source project, for example. So you could not contribute these assets into an open source project, but if you want to create your own commercial game, you can use these royalty-free. Now, the only question mark I have here is if you have 5 or 6 people working on a team, do you need to have 5 or 6 licenses? And this doesn't actually make it clear. I think as long as it's an end-use product, so as long as none of those 5 people are changing or editing the assets, you should be good to go. All right, so let's go on back over. We'll take a look. So here you see, broken down, every single one of them has a collection of rendered pings. So if you want, you basically just come on in here. What you're going to find is they're broken into parts. This is kind of nice because it allows you to, have the turrets and then the tracks, and so you can mix and match, and you can then do animations of them accordingly. So you're seeing all of their various different pieces that go together, and you sort of start building your tanks or your artillery pieces as Lego blocks, more or less, going out of there. But come on back here, you're also getting Adobe Illustrator and EPS. I think it's encapsulated PostScript, but I'm not 100%, or maybe embedded PostScript. But anyways, these are both vector graphic formats. And then you also have this version here, which is pretty much like a rendering of all of the above. So see here, you've got both the underlying turret, you've got the above turret, and then you've got destroyed version. So if you want to blow it up, you can do so. You've also got some animations here for tracks and so on. And let's go take a look at the Adobe Illustrator version. Now, I don't know if this is a side effect of me not using Adobe Illustrator and instead using Affinity Designer, which, by the way, is my vector graphics application of choice. I am a huge fan of it, and I highly recommend it. But what I'm finding with this one is you get really weird groupings. Okay, so here we see the entire thing, and it's organized into layers and into groups. and then into subgroups. But I would like to see each individual asset as its own group, if you know what I mean. The group organizations for me are very arbitrary, and I would rather deal with this entire tank here as a group, not this subgrouping that they've got going on. So again, if you try these out in Illustrator and it doesn't perform that way, please let me know, because I do find that a little bit confusing. So nice thing about vector graphics, let me just get rid of this background here. Ooh, okay, let me not get rid of that background there. You can come in and pick any particular item here. So for example, I could grab the turret, the barrel end of the turret, and this guy is it's shape based. So any of these things we can go ahead and make an edit. We can change the stroke size if we wish, so we can make the lines thicker and smaller. So the nice thing is you do have full editing ability of these if you want to customize things. Also, vector graphics use like a relative color filling mechanism. So if you want to change the colors out on things, it's a relatively simple process. The only downside, again, is because the groups aren't organized the way I would like, actually connecting and selecting things is a little bit harder than I would like it to be. But as you can see, you can easily change out and customize things to your heart's content. So you can create your own versions. You can easily edit the shapes that are involved, even if you don't have a lot of artistic ability. So you can create derived works from this pretty easily. And again, if you don't want to get in and muck around with the actual source versions of things, the vector versions of them, you can, of course, just use the ping versions, which were also included. And this is the same for all of these things. So I downloaded a couple of examples. So you see here, we've also got zombie characters, or spaceship characters. Let's do spaceships. Where did you go, spaceships? Zombie spaceship. All right, here we go. Do you see this? Actually, let me just extract that one. 7-zip extract. This way I can show you the PNG files easy enough. So spaceships. All right, here we go. So you come on in here. You're going to see you've got the PNG selection. So there is all of the various different ships, and then you've got things like thrust animations for the back of them. So everything is available there in format. So if you're using like Godot or Unity or whatever, you can literally drop it in and use it as the end result. But if you want to go ahead and tweak things or change things, then we could do things, again, open them up in your tool of choice. Yeah, there's no options there that would make the grouping better. So the grouping on all these is a little strange or arbitrary. So again, weird grouping. Again, I would love to see groups to the individual ship level, but you can come in here and easily make changes. So, for example, if this particular ship, you'd rather have this wing be a little bit different shaped, it's vector graphics. So that's the nice part when you're dealing with vectors, is you can edit the source level, really simple, make changes, and so on. You can actually grab all of the things in the shape, pull them into its own singular file. But again, the way that things are grouped does make that a little bit more challenging than I'd like. So again, if you open this up in something like Adobe Illustrator, does the grouping make more sense, or is it just as incredibly arbitrary? But again, the nice thing with a vector graphic is you can tweak these things. So you don't like the coloring, you change the color. Everything here is, oh, I'm in the wrong mode. Everything here is easily redone, like so. So it does give you a kind of an infinite level of customizability. Now, one of the downsides to this set is you're going to find a number of characters. For example, here are a number of the zombie characters. Well, what you're going to find is there are no animations at all. And that's kind of unfortunate. I would love to see frames of animation for these characters. Although, since they are vector graphics based, what you can do is bring them into something like Spine or Spriter or Godot's character tools, and you basically, recompose it as pieces, and then you set bones up to animate the individual pieces. And that is definitely one way you can work with it. And I think, again, if I go look at the zombies, let me go back over here, the zombie. All right, here we go. So we'll take this guy, we'll extract it out. I think if I go look at the PNGs for this guy, it's broken down. Yeah, so it's broken down by limbs. So what you end up doing is basically creating your character in, here, I'm going to just show you a very arbitrary way. But you bring your characters into your program of choice. Let me just, oops. All right, come on. And then paint.net on the right. And you start basically composing your character out of pieces, like so. Then you'd bring the head in, like so, and then you bring your arms in, like so. So creating your own animations isn't really that nasty of a process. This one goes in behind. And every single game engine out there supports, so obviously this guy needs to be moved in the layer so that it's behind. So what you're doing is basically dragging and dropping in the pieces, and then you can add bones that will do the bending and movements for you. Again, I've covered a number of tools that cover this stuff. We've got things like Spriter, Spine, Dragon tools. We've got, again, cutout animation tools for Blender. We've got this stuff is built into the Godot game engine. I believe it's now built into Unity. If not, there's like a dozen asset plugins for doing this kind of stuff. So even though there are animations out of the box, since the characters are made out of basically building blocks, you can rig them up to do your own animations, etc. All right, so that is enough hands-on with the assets. The license is pretty flexible. Again, the nice thing is, again, since everything is vector graphics, it's a template, I guess you could say, that you could go ahead and use yourself for your own creations, so you can modify things to your heart's content. There is a consistency to the art style, so if you like the one style, the whole pack should work for you, and you can modify it, again, to fit your needs as you need new characters, or, you know, take different pieces, drag and drop. We also got some stuff here for creating user interfaces, things like windows and drop zones and so on and so forth available here as well. And that is it. That is the, what is this thing called again? Let's get out of the license. It is the Game Graphics Designer Bundle over on Fanatical. The entire thing, I think, again, is $15 USD, $23.05 Canadian. Also, if you're over here, Bundle Fest is still going on, but you will find there are a couple of bundles of relevance to game development. I already covered the one. There's also a game music bundle happening right now. So the game creators bundle is going on, and then they've got a number of pact-based books, and they've got a couple of training courses as well. Now, those bundles last forever, whereas these ones, like the game creator bundle and the today's bundle, they do have a time limit attached to them. Fanatical is 100% legit, by the way. I've purchased things in the past. I know dozens or hundreds of you have as well. And by the way, if you use my code, I get a small commission and help support Game from Scratch, and I do appreciate that. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. That is the bundle. A decent collection of stuff. Again, if the art style isn't for you, obviously the bundle is not going to be for you. But again, getting your hands on some graphics sometimes even is just nice for prototyping things, getting started. It's nicer to work with graphics pack than it is to, you know, basically have to create your own programmer art. So sometimes, even if you look at this, you can get these things for $1. So you can use this if you're creating a space style game. You can use these as stand-ins for your sprites, and then, you know, get to them later on. And the other cool thing is, again, since everything is vector based, you can modify things with kind of somewhat minimalistic art skills, although the way that things are composed and grouped is a little frustrating. But hopefully that is just an affinity side effect. Let me know how that goes. And by the way, if you do not have a vector graphics application, do check out Inkscape, open source free version, and it will open up EPS files and work just fine. I'm not sure it does Adobe Illustrator files. I assume it does, but you know what they say about assuming. So anyways, that is it. Let me know what you think of this bundle down below, and yeah, I will talk to you all later. Goodbye.